Hi friends, this is Leslie from the Whole Shebang. I'm here to show you another Goodwill Bins shopping trip. This was for the week from today's the 22nd. So it was anything I got from September 15th to September 21st. I actually only went twice last week, so in case you are not familiar with the bins, this is going to be like a little Goodwill Bins 101. Every Goodwill store has discounted clothing inside that is hung up and that you can buy. Not all Goodwills have, however, an outlet center, and the nickname for the outlet center are the bins. So in the outlet centers, you have rows and rows and rows of these big, in my outlet center, they're called the bins. We have big blue bins of clothing and hard goods and toys and games and just other stuff, dishes, hangers, like everything is in there, and you pay by the pound. So if a shirt, my understanding is that if a shirt or some item in the regular Goodwill store did not sell within 6 weeks, they will then put it into the bins, into the outlet center. In addition to that, someone said sometimes if they just have too many donations at a particular store, they will just throw everything on a truck and ship it off to the outlet center and just throw it into the outlet center. And then what happens throughout the day is, you know, if they open up at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, let's say, they wheel the bins out, they fill them up with new clothing. Usually, I think, personally, it goes on top of the old clothing, so they fill it up with new items on top of the old clothing, and then you just sift through them. There's different strategies. There's people who I call tossers who go in and they literally just go like this and just shove, and they must know what they're looking for, and they're able to identify it very quickly, and then they walk away, and then they may sit there so I've seen people sit there for 2 or 3 hours waiting for the next set of bins to come out. I tend to be more methodical, and I just go by piece by piece by piece in each bin. I think there are probably 32 bins of items of clothing at my bin store. So I obviously don't go through 32 bins, and they're long bins. They're, 15 feet long, I don't know, and wide. So you couldn't possibly go through every item in all the bins. Plus they're bringing new items out, and the new things are added. So it's shuffling around a lot. I tend to be more methodical and go through things one by one. You're going to be paying by the pound for that. And that means that up in my bins store, up to 20 pounds, you're paying $1.69 a pound. From 20 pounds to 50 pounds, you're paying $1.29 a pound. And anything over 50, you're paying $1.14 a pound. I tend to range in the 20 to 23 pound range. So I'm usually paying somewhere between $25 to $30 every time I go. I guess if I go twice a week, I'm maybe paying 2 times 30 is $60 to $70 for all the items I'm getting. I'm also purchasing for my children and for myself and for my husband and for my house. So I have one son who's working full time, and I routinely get him every single trip pretty much some sort of really nice button-down shirt and a tie, and you'll see some of it is in here, but just things that we can use. And obviously there is a limit to how much you need, and I'm trying to become more of a minimalist, and my kids, but it's good because some of the things I say, no, we have enough of this. There is a range, if you ever do get to an outlet center, there's a range of about I'd say about 15 to 20 pounds. If you're in that range, you may as well go grab some more items and put it over 20 pounds, which I have done. If I was like 18 or 19 pounds, I'll go how many, because if you do the math, I think it's anything over 15 pounds, you may as well just grab enough items to get up to 20. So do the math in your store and see if that works. And what I've done is I've just gone back typically and gotten some big heavy sweater that I just know I'm going to donate to a organization. So, but it actually ends up being cheaper. If you do the math, for instance, 15 times 169, 15 pounds times 169, it ends up being almost, it is less money to just pay for 20 pounds at 129. do the math. Anyway, I'm sorry if I made that more confusing to you. I probably did. Anyway, they also have all kinds of spoons, knives, cups. They have lots and lots and lots of old books, lots and lots and lots of old shoes. They have lots of Christmas wrapping paper. They have lots of holiday items. Really anything that would go into a Goodwill store will be put into the Goodwill store and then ultimately in the outlet center. My understanding is that if the item doesn't sell within 6 weeks, and so like any store, there are people who will go and see something, and sometimes they usually take the prices off the things that came from the store that were processed already as opposed to the unprocessed items, and sometimes the prices are still on it, and you can see that, like for instance, this particular thing that I will show you here, this is a Nautica men's extra extra large, and it was marked, it had a price of $8.75. You know, for some people $8.75 is not something they want to spend money on, and yet for this item, which is again because I paid by the pound, and I always figure 2 pounds for $1.29. This is going to cost me $2.60. This is a good item that I would, that I would be willing to pay $2.60. Maybe not $8.75 if I were to buy it in the store. Let me get into showing you what I got. If that was monotonous and boring, I'm sorry, and I will make a notation in the description where to start where I'm going to start showing my stuff. First thing was this Nautica, really nice men's brand. I mean, this kind of stuff is like $60. It's an extra extra large. It's a 1/4 zip. Has a little thing there. It's a big size, which is good, and I'm hoping it sells. Yeah, so that's, again, these are all items that I got. These were mostly items I got to sell. This was a Gap woman's cable knit sweater. You can see the Gap brand. It's a size medium. I actually think it's a little small. I will offer this to my daughter, but in case she doesn't want it. This is a brand you see all the time, and it sells really, really well. It's called the North Face, which you may be familiar with this. This is just a North Face hoodie. This brand, if you see the fleece coats in particular, the fleece coats have a great resale value if you're doing reselling. Here is a Lily Pulitzer top that I got. It's a size large. I looked this one up. Oh, and that's the other thing what I do. I'll tell you this. This is a Lily Pulitzer top. I forget what this top is called. Lily Pulitzer, if you ever get any Lily Pulitzer stuff, in the inside seam has a, is that it? No. It has a little tag, and it will tell you the style number. So you can look up items, Lily Pulitzer items, through that. When I am deciding whether or not I want to get an item, what I oftentimes do is I will look up on my phone. I will just Google the brand name and see if it's selling from a store like Target or Walmart. I might not get it to resell because, well, it may be, unless it's new with tags, I might not do that. This is a brand I never heard before. It's called Kaisley. If you're familiar with it, let me know. This is like it's got holes in it for your arms, but it's like a boho type of sweater. I really like it. This is a brand I had never heard before, but it's got cute stuff. And if I heard it before, this is called Rock. I'm just going to put my glasses on. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's called Rock Flower Paper. Rock Paper Flower. And they are known for these very loose tunics. This obviously needs to be pressed. I, quite frankly, don't usually do the pressing. I tell the people in my descriptions, you need to do the pressing. This is a new with tag. This was a, it's actually a pair of pajamas. I was surprised. I thought it was a dress, but it says love my dog, love me, love my dog. It's new with tags. I think I looked this up, and this was selling for about $68. So I never know what I'm going to get. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to get X amount of money for that. I just put it up. I do a lot of my things on eBay as an auction, and I'm happy with whatever I got because I just am. Anyway, This is a brand I never heard before. It's called Sione. It is I'm not sure if I can even do justice to this. It's a big boho type of sweater. Some of their sweaters, this is an Anthropologie brand. I'm not sure. The back is pretty boring, but the front is just all kinds of interesting things, and it's got layers, and it's got hem, you know, it's very pretty. It seems to sell well on eBay. So again, this is, that was like maybe £3, it would be $3.90 that I paid for it. If I get $30 and I put it into I always charge for my shipping, then I'll be happy, and I will have made it. And I personally probably spend 2 to 3 hours every time I'm at a bin. So if I do it 2 or 3 times a week, I'm really only spending 6 to 9 hours a week, plus even the traveling up. Less than 10 hours a week sourcing is what they call it, which is getting stuff to sell. Okay, this is a Lanza Salzburg. It's a really old vintage type of. This one is not in the best condition. It's a little bit worn. I had gotten another one at a rummage sale a couple weeks ago, I think. This is a pretty well-known prairie type of comfortable 100% flannel pair of pajamas, and people collect them. This was something I noticed right away. It is a Lily Pulitzer. It's a Lily Pulitzer for Target bathing suit, and it looks really like it hasn't been worn. It's in really nice condition inside, and I will note that I don't know if it hasn't been worn, but it was really nice condition. This seems to be that, I guess because it's September, they're getting rid of all the old bathing suits. This was a brand, and the price tag of $59 was on this, and it was from Macy's. This has a matching top, which I could not find, but I just wanted to show that this was something. Again, this was 6 ounces, so it would be 75 cents. It has a matching top, which I do have. And the bottoms were $59. It's just, they're getting rid of a lot of bathing suits now. So this was a new with tag. This is a J. Crew. It's called a tissue turtleneck. J. Crew. I should research more about the different labels of J. Crew. Tag. It is a completely unbelievably soft turtleneck. I wear a lot of turtleneck. That I was attracted to that because of the color is like Notre Dame, which my kids go to Notre Dame. I'm showing you this not because this is necessarily the greatest t-shirt, but because to let you know that one of the things that are highly collectible, and if it is a great t-shirt, and if you know it, let me know. I don't even know what the brand is. I don't think it's a particularly great brand, but it is a Green Day t-shirt, and rock band t-shirts are highly collectible. Old rock band. So, like, I guess the gold standard would be like if you got a original Woodstock or something like that. So Green Day is still around, I think, and it's kind of, I just got it to see what would happen. This brand is called Cooper and Ella. Cooper and Ella. I think this dress is inside out right now. It's just a green flowy dress. It looks a little bit like Lily Pulitzer. It's got the gold background, the gold going down the back. It's got a little lace white thing. I thought it was really pretty. This is a really big and kind of heavy, and actually I think I got this for me. It's Talbot's. It's a Talbot's brand. It's like a big, clunky, dark, with bell sleeves, which I love. Lots of those, like, just simple, and I'm doing more and more, just trying to simplify my look. I wanted to show you this bathing suit. I got a lot of these the last time I went. These are called Uglies. Uglies, Ugly brand. It's got this, you'll recognize it if you see this pattern, this black and white stripe pattern. This is a girl's bathing swimsuit, a swim team bathing suit, and they cost a lot of money. My daughter's on a swim team. They cost a lot of money, and the resale value is pretty good. That's why I got that. This is a bathing suit, which I actually will probably give to my husband or oldest son. It's a Nautica bathing suit, very nice condition. It may be new without tags rather. Again, this is the kind of thing that if my husband were to buy this bathing suit, it would probably cost, I don't know, $40. This was less than a pound, so for $1, he just got a new bathing suit. This, of course, I'm going to grab. This was an Adidas brand, and I can pick this stuff out. I looked this up, knew this was $32.99. It is a Notre Dame Fighting Irish, I think it just says ND with Irish down the side. It might be upside down, but I am definitely going to get, I'm going to buy anything that has Notre Dame on it. My oldest son graduated from there. I have 2 kids who are currently there, and I can't find it. It's whatever. Oh, it's this way. Anyway, it's, that's the other thing, is that there are tons and tons, which I've started to get, of college sweatshirts are another good thing to buy, and that's actually why I included that in there. People from University of Connecticut want to go get an old vintage University of Connecticut t-shirt to wear back to homecoming or reunion, or a lot of people apparently buy them when their child gets into University of Connecticut, for instance, and decides to go there. They want to get them a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, and they go through that. I know that when my oldest sons first went to Notre Dame, I couldn't believe the prices in the bookstore for all the Notre Dame stuff, and I bought quite a bit of stuff off of Notre Dame for my youngest daughter, who was little at the time. But anyway, if you see good in shape college, and especially the vintage stuff, because that's highly collectible, that's another story. Okay, this was a pair of, I looked him up, and apparently, oh my gosh, Tommy Bahama. I almost forgot. This is this thing. It doesn't even have the name inside, but I Googled, this is a pair of Man's 32 by 32 pants. Light blue, not my cup of tea, but I think a couple of my kids would want to wear them. Again, those pants probably new cost $100. And I got these. This was a brand I was not familiar with. It's like called Castaway, I think. Nantucket Island. And they're a really cute pair of shorts with little anchors on them. And the last thing I got, and this is kind of goes into the same category of the college stuff, the vintage brands, Champions, Hanes, those kind of things. I don't know that this is vintage or not. This is a Champion brand. It's a really nice condition. It's got the old-fashioned, it just looks really old-fashioned. People really like the old-fashioned kind of vintagey looking, I'm not sure if vintagey is a word, but vintagey looking sports memorabilia. So it's something to definitely keep your eyes looking out for if you do go to the Goodwill Bins. My last thing about the Goodwill Bins, I would say, is that if you do go to the Goodwill Bins, or even if you don't have one, I Googled, I think most states have one, and I have heard that people do go quite a distance to travel. Sometimes they will go like once a week. They'll travel 2 hours to get to the bins. It is definitely a place where you can spend 6-7 hours just standing there and going, because as I said, you're going so methodically through all the different, I have one more thing, all the different bins. So it's not the place, it will keep your attention for a long time if you do have to travel. The last thing I got, which I'm going to show you this. This is not the way it came. I put them in these bags because I'm going to sell them. These are these vintage kind of, it's like lace or bias tape for sewing. This is, these are vintage. Some of them are really funny. I love looking at them because they're from like early 70s. Some of them, I don't know if I can find. They're just, and they're labeled, oh, this one is, so this is like a hem tape seam binding. It was obviously someone's from their sewing container. I'm going to put them up, this entire thing, including the box, which I sometimes will buy things just to get the box, and I will clean out the box and I use the box, because the box sometimes itself costs $3 at Target or $2 at Target, but I'm going to see how they do. I'm going to try it. Next time there's a free listing day, I'm going to put some of these up on eBay and see if they sell, and maybe start the auction pretty low and for $2 shipping and see how they go. So that is what I got last week. As I said, that was most of the stuff that I want to sell. I have a whole lot more that I have gotten and I use for my family. I just got myself an adorable pair of Banana Republic jeans with a cute little cuff at the bottom that I will actually be, I wore them, I watched them and wore them yesterday, and my daughter, who's 12, told me how cute they looked on me. So anyway, going to the bins is a great thing if you're able to do it. It's also a great tool if you are a reseller, which is what I'm trying to do full time. And I do have another job, but I'm trying to do this more full time. So when I started looking at these reselling videos, learning all these little things about the Goodwill bins would have been really great. I didn't really understand what the bins were, that the bins were separate from the Goodwill stores. I went to a Goodwill store and thought, how are these people getting all these great deals? And then I Googled the Goodwill bins and I saw what had happened. If you like this content, I'm sorry if it went on too long. Please like and subscribe down there. I like doing this and I'm going to keep on doing it, so I hope you guys like watching my videos. This is Leslie from The Whole Shebang, and until next time, have a great day. See ya.